Welcome to welcome to episode 37. Welcome back if you have joined us for the previous episodes, or welcome if it's your first time listening. Today we're going to do something we haven't yet done, which is to very deliberately share the love, specifically sharing who to follow and why. But
Mm-hmm.
before we dive in, Veronica, how's it going? What's happening? Good to see you.
Hello. It's good. It's summer, so
Mm.
nothing can go wrong.
Yeah,
And
finally. Summer, finally. Mm.
hopefully more than 3 days.
Right.
um, I have to say with this episode, my first instinct was I'm not sure what to talk about, and then
Mm.
sitting
Mm.
and thinking about it. Actually, I do like the direction.
Mm.
Uh, and I was thinking it will be a short one, but let's see if we can keep it short because with
Yeah.
us, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But I think it's interesting because most every episode we've done, almost every episode, we have referenced some tool or company or person or article or something. We generally do that. But
Yes,
this
we do.
episode is specifically about that. It's just sharing because it's as we said, one of our goals in doing this podcast was an opportunity for us to continue to like have coffee and get to know each other and share and learn from each other. And then to invite other people to participate, right? So with this one, I'm also curious. Yeah, I'm curious, who are you following, or what organizations or yeah,
Did you?
companies, yeah, are registering for you? Like who's I don't want to say like legit, but who's hot right now for you, or
There
who to follow and why?
actually there are quite a lot of people now that I think about it, and
Ugh.
so for the ones that I'm not mentioning, please don't feel
Yeah.
left out.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so there are a lot. Thinking back at what I do, I love connecting.
Hmm.
So actually, what I realized when we were discussing this today's topic, and coming up with the idea, what I realized one thing, like when it comes to make connections, it's so easy for me to see what's the perfect connection for that particular situation, person, or project.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural. It's my superpower, however you want
Hmm.
to call it.
Hmm.
However, if I just say, look in general,
Oh
I
yeah.
got a little bit stuck because I was,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Because there are so many
Yeah.
people that and so many
Yeah.
things that are amazing and you should be aware of, but
Hmm.
you can't really pinpoint them, or is that too objective or subjective? Or
Hmm.
honestly, it's was very hard for me to do this. And as
Mm.
you know, I kept on postponing it. And I know you got
Yeah.
very frustrated with me for that. So I do apologize online for everyone to hear. That being said, so I have a selection here. So the
Okay.
first one, it's actually a bank.
Wait a
And
second. We should say drum roll.
doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. A bank?
A bank.
Wow.
I know, it's
Okay.
very unexpected. It's Triodos Bank. And it's actually a
Ah,
bank I would love to work with
amazing.
because
Yep.
not your normal bank. So you're not gonna go there to open an account to run your normal business there. But what they do and why if anyone is listening from that bank, I would love to work with you.
Yeah.
Side
Yes.
note.
Yeah.
Why I like them so much is how they invest. So it's an investment bank, right?
Hmm.
And I actually discussed with them at a specific point. So they do a proper research. The companies that they have, they really are sustainable companies, working sustainability or have a social impact. And that's something very important for them. And they do an amazing job doing that. Um, and the way they present the story and the accent they put on those, it's something that resonates with me. So
Mm.
definitely
Hmm.
if you're looking to invest or something like that,
Hmm.
that's a
Amazing.
bank.
Amazing.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that's one thing. The second one, I'm a little bit biased here because I'm part of it, but it's not my idea. So it's the AI meetup, global
Hmm.
AI meetup. It's
Hmm.
organized by Milestone. This is a company, machine learning company based in Berlin, and were the first one launching the AI meetup. and they did that in New York. I think was in 2020. I don't remember actually, I don't know the year. So, but they were the first one organizing an AI meetup in New York, focused on putting people together. It's a
Hmm.
free event. They pay for everything. I love the structure because it's one, they are basically 45 minutes
Hmm.
of um, talks. And
Hmm.
the 15 minutes, it's about something very technical. 15 minutes about something very theoretical. No, technical, like practical, technical and
Hmm.
practical. 15 very theoretical that I have to say I attended one and you have no clue how to follow that. If you're not in the industry or
Yeah, yeah,
super,
yeah,
super. And
yeah.
50 minutes fire chat with someone working
Hmm.
in the industry or how do you implement that? And
Hmm.
we did help organize the first one here in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. Another one to come in July 18, if I'm not wrong. And they do it for free, so everyone can come for free. You have the pizza, of course, everything is better with pizza at the end,
Yes,
and the beer. But that's not the reason why I like it.
that's
It's
a reason to
because
go. Yeah.
it's the fact that people go there to actually have proper conversation and to connect. So it's
Hmm.
very in line with all the events that I'm creating. And I
Hmm.
resonate with that. And the quality
Hmm.
of people, why people come there is not to sell, that you usually see at different events, but
Yeah.
they're not only the geeks that you see at the AI events where you're not able to really integrate or follow. So it has a little bit to offer to everyone.
Hmm.
This is why,
Hmm.
like, it doesn't matter exactly where you are in your level, business journey or um, level literacy in AI. Can I say that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. AI literacy. Yeah.
um, so you are welcome and you can have a proper conversation and you can learn
Hmm.
or you can, like be curious.
Hmm.
So I love that. And also what I love is that by joining one event, you join their community and you have access to the rest of the events. And I think they're in
Hmm.
11 cities or something like that. So it's huge. So
Yeah, I
if
was
you
going to ask
travel,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if you travel, you can actually join. And they have in Berlin, they have in, I
Hmm.
actually don't know. They are everywhere. We're
Hmm.
gonna place a link so people can actually check it out.
Hmm. It reminds me also, we did, I believe it was episode 8. Actually, I know it is. I just confirmed because I didn't want to say it wrong. But episode 8 was AI for the non-techie business owner. We
Mm,
did. So here we are. So
exactly.
now, yeah,
So
now
this
you're, yeah,
exactly
good.
this why it was very in line.
Hmm.
Okay, so the third is a person, and honestly, I'm a little bit because there are several people here that they
Yeah.
same category, and actually, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna mention two people.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna give a bonus.
All right. A bonus.
No,
All right. Perfect. Now, which one
no.
is the bonus? Ooh.
Mm,
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna
Go for it.
go for it. No pressure here.
Uh-huh.
So one person is actually she's fantastic, and she's also a friend of mine, of course. She's Polish but living here in the Netherlands. Her name is Julia Jelinska.
Ah,
I think you know her. And
amazing. Yeah,
why
tell
I'm
me.
mentioning her? Why I'm mentioning her? Because she launched the iBorg
Mm-hmm.
business networking. I think that's the right term. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make sure to put the link. Why I
Mm-hmm.
think she's brilliant is because she's very in line with what I do, connecting people. And she took all the business owners from a specific neighborhood in Amsterdam and is putting them together to network and to
Mm.
facilitate interactions and business
Mm-hmm.
connections and everything. And I find it brilliant. You meet
Mm-hmm.
once a month at one of the cafes in the neighborhood. So the cafe actually has exposure because it's in your
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood. Of course, you're gonna go and have a drink or whatever there, and you learn about so many other amazing things that are happening there, like the
Mm.
gym or a different coach or everything and anything.
Mm-hmm.
I actually learned about sustainability business that was there. So it's super interesting and it's social, it's in your neighborhood.
Mm.
uh for me it's a little bit the next neighborhood, but
Yeah.
but still
Yes. Yes.
um
It's your neighbor.
But
Yeah.
I love the initiative, and
Yeah.
I would love to have to see that in every single neighborhood, like
Mm, mm.
do a franchise out of it. It's brilliant. And okay, I must admit I don't know the last name, how to pronounce it properly because my Dutch sucks. I'm sorry for that. So
Okay. Let's try it.
the next one that I'm gonna put at the same level, but I met him recently through Edis, and he's an entrepreneur, and he's like the real nomad entrepreneur. His name is Marcel Firma Weimars. Marcel, I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your last name. His what he does are events. No More Networking is the name of the
Ah,
organization. And
okay.
he's teaching you how to organize a micro event. He's giving you everything that you need to know, but also inviting different people. You again connect, and it's more diverse. So this is what Julie does is more for neighborhood.
Mm,
This is, and he has different type of events like founders dinner. That is brilliant. I love that.
mm,
I think he's my favorite event from the ones that he's organizing.
mm,
He launched, and I will actually be there as well at the Growth Founders um, table where you host
mm,
a table and you network. Has the academy, so has different formats, and he's organizing the beauties. He does them in different cities. He loves traveling, so he did
mm,
one in Argentina because he was there, in Spain because he was there, in like he just goes and just does it without knowing anyone. So he's brilliant
mm,
in doing that.
mm,
So shout out to these people. And there are many more doing that. Like just
mm,
naming them, I feel like, oh, I should name at least five more. But I'm gonna
mm.
stop here because we said three.
I
Um,
know. I know.
and I need to
Listening
shut
to
up
you.
now and give you the space.
No, no, but now I feel like, oh man, because now I've had more time to think about it. And I also am like, oh, I want to add another one and another one and another one. And it's like, it's tricky to do. But
You're
I
never
think,
gonna end if you do
yeah,
that.
you can never end, of course. But I also just want to go back for a minute and like grab my highlighter and highlight what you said earlier about the the challenge in just picking somebody kind of without context.
Yeah.
Because when you're somebody that loves and thrives off building relationships and making introductions, there's so many. So it's like, yeah, everybody's like a favorite. It's like they're for somebody else or for a certain situation, you know? So to just do it, yeah, just a kind of carte blanche, just across the board, just, yeah, with no further context is really tricky to do. So I
Honestly,
appreciate that.
this
Yeah.
was one of the hardest, like
Yeah.
actually
I
now
know.
that we are doing it, it's very natural.
Hmm.
But the preparation, for me,
It's
this was
hard.
one of the
Yeah.
hardest. I
But
must
I
say.
this but honestly, this is something that I would ask you for a meeting for coffee. I'd be like, who else are you following or what's going on? It's like just sharing, yeah,
Yeah, but I
sharing.
have a context there. That's the difference
Yeah,
for
I
me.
know. Yeah, I
Because
get
then
it.
I know, okay, so as you know, when you asked me that when we first met,
Yeah.
my question was, what are you looking for? And who are
Yeah.
you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I
But
have a
I think
context.
yeah, I think it's interesting though, like for you, just as a person, as a business person, etc. Yeah, so I'm interested in what catches your eye. Like who are you learning from or where are you, yeah, who are you clicking with, right? So I love those and I was really interested to hear what you shared. And I
And these are not
also
the only ones actually,
no,
because
of
what I
course.
learned can be just listening to like a friend of mine that she's very spiritual and she sends me a video and I'm learning so much about that that has nothing to do with the business, but that
Right,
affects in the way I'm approaching business.
right. No, for
So
sure. Yeah.
it's so relative, honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm realizing without a context, and we actually know that, but now that you're
Mm,
put in that situation, without the context, it's very hard
yeah.
to answer these type of questions.
Yeah.
So now I'm
So
curious. Who are you?
yeah. So the way I approached mine was just thinking, yeah, just sitting to think about the conversations I've had lately, we'll just say recently, who is it that I'm sharing the most? What resource or thing or whatever, whose story am I telling the most? So I thought of that, and then I thought about whose content do I pay attention to on podcast or on LinkedIn? What articles am I reading? And just, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. So it was not deliberate, but mine ended up being a person, a company, and a nonprofit. So these
Very
are the three.
curious.
Okay. All
Run.
right. So where do I start? Where do I start? So we'll start with the first one that I put down when I thought about this. So the first one is a person is Christopher Marquise. And he is, I would say, brilliant. He's excuse me, he's an academic. Excellent time to have a frog in my throat. Excuse me. He's a researcher, and what I what I like, well, first of all, I've been following him for quite a while. He has podcasts, he's written many books. He publishes a lot of content. He yeah, and I finally was able to meet him in person. It was one of those things where you never sometimes they say you don't want to meet your heroes. I mean, he's not my
Mhm.
hero, but I wasn't sure. In finally meeting him in person, excuse me, he was so down to earth, so humble, so friendly, and just generous that it really made me even now I'm like super fan of his. So specifically, what I've been telling people about is his newest book that he's out on a kind of world tour promoting at the moment. It's called The Profiteers. It
Mhm.
is, let's see, I had it. It's how business privatizes profits and socializes costs. It's
Definitely, I want to
really
check out that book.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So he cites research and he like presents scores of case studies and profiles companies that he has met with and has done conducted research around and kind of documenting, telling their story about how you can do business and be very successful in not not through exploiting people or the planet, etc. So he's really into kind of the regenerative paradigm and talking about the role that business plays in that. So it's really interesting to me. Again, he has an amazing newsletter that he publishes on LinkedIn, and he's got lots of podcasts as well. So Christopher Marquise is,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
somebody I think is
check
highly
it out.
relevant. Yep, so that's a good one. The second one, I feel like taking that conversation a step forward is a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit slash movement, right? So it's the global B Corp movement.
Mm,
And so
that's a good one.
this to me I love because it's also I think relevant and accessible to people, I would say just about everywhere in the world. Um, so to give a very quick splash about what it is, it's a movement that began in the US in 2006. It was founded on the belief that business has a role in creating a positive impact for all stakeholders, right? And so a couple data points to help give context around what it is. So there is a certification that a company can achieve. The B Lab is a nonprofit organization that certifies companies that are for-profit companies that can achieve the certification.
Mhm.
And so presently, there are about 8,500 companies globally that are certified. But more interesting to me, actually, is there are about just under 300,000 companies globally that are using their assessment tools to measure the positive impact that their business has on the stakeholders, right? And so they look at the governance, the workers, community, customers, and the environment. So it's really interesting. It's basically a blueprint for how to build a successful company that's profitable and contributes to society instead of depleting it. So it's
I'm
really
actually
interesting.
very happy you mentioned this. Excuse me, how it went to me.
Yeah.
Um, because I was involved in Zebras
Mm-hmm.
United, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not the same, but it's very similar, and they do promote the B Corp certified. And it's you see it in the last, I would say, 10 years or even less. More and more companies are trying
Yes.
to apply for the B certificate or just are aware of it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
such a nice surprise when you're talking with a company and they know about it. Whereas like 10 years ago, no one like, what's that? Like, why would I?
Yeah, not even 10 years ago. I mean, I mean, it is definitely to your point, and I'm glad that you said that. There is it's accelerating right now when you look at it's not exactly hockey stick growth, but it's moving in that direction. It's gaining momentum very drastically. And I feel like actually the UK is I would say per capita has, I believe, more than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And the UK already has almost the same number as the United States has, and it was founded in the US in 2006. So it's growing
It's
rapidly
telling
in
you something about the values.
I think so. I think so. So there's work to be done.
Yeah.
But one bonus I will share about this that I often am talking about the B Corp movement and specifically the framework that I think is really interesting. I like it personally because it's a kind of a cross section. It's a holistic look at a business. It's not only about the product or service, but it's how you're treating your team, how you're contributing to your community, the environmental impact, etc. So I really like that it's holistic. It's more in alignment with how I see business. But in any case, the second part that I love to share about is a lesser known related entity called BeWork. So bework.com is a website for people to go to who are looking to for their next job or opportunity and want to work for kind of a purpose-driven company. So those are, I believe, all the employers that post jobs there are certified B Corps. And so
Ooh.
there's no guarantee that just because a company is a certified B Corp that they are exceptional at treating their employees and it's going to be like, a cakewalk or something. But I don't know of a better certification or third party kind of, yeah, reference to be able to indicate that the likelihood that they're a good company to work for is relevant or is
Yeah.
accessible or is valid. So bework.com is a great place to go to check out opportunities with companies that are leading the way.
I like
So
that. I have no
that's
idea that exists.
I know. Yeah, it's why I said it's lesser known. It's not super well kind of promoted, I would say. So I'm doing my bit here to share the word. So that's number two. And my third one is the company, which is an actually kind of, yeah, it's very similar to what we've talked about, but it's called Innovation Women. And this is a visibility bureau that identifies and creates speaking opportunities for women, for
Mm,
specifically women, for career development or for thought leadership and ultimately business success. This organization was also founded in the US, founded in Boston, where I'm from, but is now global and growing. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. They also have a tremendous amount of resources available to people, yeah, trying to get speaking opportunities, helping you to build your business, etc. And then I feel like in full disclosure, I'm also an advisor for that organization. I've known them for years and I still think they're doing amazing. And so I'm constantly telling people, especially women, to have a look and create a profile and really learn from that community. It's Bobby is
definitely, I
the
want to check it
founder.
out.
Yeah, really, she's done an amazing job with it. So there's been acquisitions as well. So now there's print publications. There's a whole constellation of resources tied to this Innovation Women. So I'll drop the link in the show notes, but I highly recommend any woman out there, even if you don't feel like, you don't think you want to do like big, large scale keynotes, speaking opportunities. There's even on the website, there's all kinds of information about what types of speaking opportunities. It might be podcast interviews, it might be to do a panel, it might be to do a lunch and learn. There's all kinds of opportunities. So her platform was designed to provide service to event planners so that they can do a better job of creating a more realistic, more representative panel, as well as for women who are seeking to identify other or more or new speaking opportunities. So
I love that. I do remember always when we do the base conference, it's not that it's hard to find good women speaking, but it's about the topic. And sometimes you're gonna have a lot in a specific area, but not so many in others. So
mm,
that will help you.
Mm-hmm.
more balanced. And we always, for every single edition of base, we made it our purpose not to have a balanced panel or the overall conference to be equal.
Mm.
uh, and it can be a challenge. It's not
Yes.
impossible, but it is a challenge because
Yes.
it's not about having a balance, like the equal number of like female and male. It's about
Mm-hmm.
having the equal number of expertise as well.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like
Yes.
it's more work and
Yes.
definitely a tool that can help you make your life easier. It's welcome. So I
Yeah.
love that. I'm learning new
Yeah.
things today. Thank you.
See, we got to share, kind of compare notes, share, and I'm excited that we have this. And like I said, hopefully, at least one of the suggestions we made will click for somebody else. But I'm happy to have chatted with you and hear who registers for you. So
Thank you, and same
cool.
for you. And
All right.
let's invite. I'm curious from our listeners after you check out the links, which one actually, if you're gonna use or reach out to any of them. Very curious. And
Yeah,
I
for
think this
sure.
is a wrap up for our
This is it. 30,
what's
what, seven?
37,
37.
7. Wow,
Yep.
37.
Onward and upward.
Thank you all
Cheers.
for listening and tuning in. Bye.
Bye.